we're gonna kind of go over what's gonna happen next week. And I did speak with Kim today and with Rose at the school. We're opening the doors at 8:30, and for check-in and all of that, and then at 9:00 the school presentation will start. I am gonna, you don't have to be there for that, Paul, because I'll run that part of it. And I am gonna do the pledge before that as well. There's some students are gonna lead us in the pledge before that presentation. And then I'll do it again before town meeting starts.
So I've asked the check-in people to be there at 9.
Okay.
So.
Because they don't have to check in for the.
Correct.
Yeah.
But if they do, great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
And when I do my little spiel, I'll make sure that everyone knows that. And then when I gather everybody up to get ready for town meeting, I'll make sure that everybody's checked in.
Yeah.
With a stamp.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, we have stamps.
Yes.
We're fancy.
Awesome.
Yes.
Fancy that way.
We are fancy that way. And Diane Riley is making muffins for people, and they're gonna have coffee and tea. And I think I might get some water, just have water. Because I think in between, her presentation's gonna be 20 minutes to a half an hour between her and the kids. Because she's got some kids doing a presentation as well. And then we'll break prior to the actual town meeting, and that's when the refreshments will kind of be out. So that's kind of the plan. So that's the plan before you come on board, Paul. So I don't know, you'll be there for the school stuff though, just because you'll want to be there, right? I mean, yeah. And I'm gonna do, before we start, I'm gonna introduce all the select board members, and we're all gonna have a little spiel that we're gonna say. That has been requested by people, so we are gonna do that. So kind of do that in my welcome speech, if that works. Does that sound good to you? Tell me if I'm speaking out of turn.
So we don't duplicate.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know what your welcome speech is going to be, so I don't have to say the same thing. If you're going to make some directives about the meeting itself or about the Pledge of Allegiance comes to mind.
So I do know that there's some kids that want to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. So how about this? How about we do the pledge first? I'll welcome everybody, sit everybody down, we'll do the pledge. We'll have the kids do the pledge first. Right? We should do that first. And then
You're talking the school session?
we're gonna do both. I'll do it before the school session as well.
Okay.
We'll do the pledge twice.
So then they'll lead that?
Yep. And then, so we'll do the pledge, and then I'll do the introduction of the board. Right? Can someone else speak? I feel like I'm bossing everybody around right now.
You've been planning this for a long time.
When I do this thing that says like, when it's my turn
Yep.
to say who I am,
Mhm.
I can't say anything about like, were you running, right? Because that would be
Campaigning.
campaigning, I was gonna say advertising, campaigning is the word, correct? So, just like, okay,
You just have to say why you're on the board now.
perfect.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. She can't say anything else. Okay.
Unless the moderator, unless people ask
Got it.
and the moderator allows people to stand up and say who I am and this is why I would like to be on the board. It's not like people could just randomly do it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So no, I think we'll just do our introductions and then, oh wait, what about our presentation?
Well, your presentation is going to be when town meeting starts.
Then we'll do that.
So, like, I'm gonna borrow this for just a second. So this whole section right here,
Okay,
this whole first page is before the meeting is even called.
Called to order.
Called to order.
got it.
This is all like pre-instruction.
Okay, okay,
And this is where the moderator is welcoming people to the meeting and
Okay.
giving these, instructions, introducing people, and then, declares the meeting opened at this time.
got it.
Then town administrator, town finance person is introduced, that kind of stuff. Then he goes on to say, Article 1 is all officers voted by Australian ballot. The polls are located at the town office, that spiel. Then, moving on to,
Okay,
and then when you get to, Article 2, that's when he'll call out, that, and that's going to be the budget presentation.
Okay.
And that's where you'll do your presentation, because it's basically on the budget.
right, okay,
You're doing
perfect.
it at any other point, then Article 2 is kind of out of place, if you will,
Mhm.
because that presentation is more like budget-ish
Sure.
geared,
And
right?
just have conversation if needed.
Right.
Okay,
So
okay.
you'll do that when, budget or
Article
Article
2.
2 is
Okay.
discussed.
Okay, perfect, okay. So I think we'll do the introductions of the board, then I'm passing it over to you.
Okay.
How's that sound? And then you'll go through this, right?
Yeah,
So that's the
you-
plan?
Yeah, you should be dealing with the specific and particulars of why you're here as a board, not about your cell phone should be silenced now, or.
Right, exactly,
you
yeah,
checked in, make sure you get a. thing on, you know,
Exactly.
here.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
like the idea that you're introducing, you said you want to introduce the board.
Mhm.
I don't mind that at all.
yep,
I think that's what you want to do.
yep.
If you want to do that, and then,
Well, do we do that after your announcements? Now I'm debating.
either way.
I think.
I think you should do it after your announcement.
I think
because
so,
you've got
too.
cell phones, so if we're talking and then there's a cell phone ringing, or then somebody, I don't know, get up and get their stamp if they needed to right then.
So-
True,
Bullet item number 4,
yep,
he would say, seated up here with me are the select board members.
yep,
If they want to, and introduce themselves, then you could, do that.
Matt Moran is not gonna be there. He's on vacation. So he will be, so we can cross him off.
This is a nice
I guess it's a
corporate
question of whether we want what you guys have to say on the record or off the record. If you're before the meeting is called to order, it would not be captured in the minutes.
Oh,
If it's after, it would be a part of the town meeting day minutes moving forward.
Technically, the town meeting officially will be open after quite a bit of discussion about why we're here and what you're gonna
all the
do.
rules?
Yeah, just things that people already know, but you're just reminding them
Sure, sure.
where the restrooms are located, that kind of thing.
Yeah, the important things, emergency exits to the back and to the
There
front.
you go.
What to do when your mask falls down.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, then. How do I want to do that? Now you got me thinking, Kim. I liked it that way, but
Because when I write the minutes, I don't write the minutes, as this.
sure.
I'll write the minutes like
As soon as he,
the way
Slams
that
the
you
gavel.
start your meeting. You don't say we have a quorum. Chastity and Savannah and Lance and Nicole are here.
true.
The town administrator is here. I write the minutes. Who's present and who's missing.
Mm-hmm.
Moderator, town clerk. I do the same thing that
Sure.
that Justin does. So I'm not doing anything different than what I would have done in the past.
Yep. Okay. Then yeah, so we'll just speak then when you introduce us. Why are you looking at me like that?
Okay.
Are you sure?
So that's,
Or no? What do you think?
No, I think that, because it really has,
We're overthinking it.
yeah, we're totally overthinking it, because it's just, the townspeople asked for a little like blurb about us. So it's not, like you said, it's not really gonna be in the minutes, it's not, we're not campaigning.
You know what I want you to do?
They're not-
I want you to move that whole section down to the bottom.
Then that flows a little
Okay.
better.
And then it will, then we'll flow right into the meeting.
Okay,
That's a good idea.
How about that?
Yep.
okay, yep.
And then it's kind of not in the middle. You can do all the housekeeping stuff
yeah,
and then say, you know, and here's Kim Moulton, town clerk, and then let's move her down there too.
Yep.
You know, our town clerk, Kim Moulton, and then the select board, and then you can hand the microphone to me.
okay.
And then I'll hand it back to you to start the meeting.
Okay, make that one note.
Yeah, I'm taking that from her.
There you go.
I'm stealing that paper back.
That makes complete
Yeah.
sense, I think.
We'll
Yep.
do Kim first and then select board. Intros.
Great.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Moving along. Sorry. Yeah, and then this will be fine. And then we'll put Article 2. We're gonna we'll do the presentation right before that. Right?
So, do you want to have the motion and second, and then the presentation, the video be like part of the discussion?
Good.
Probably should be, right?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So we'll make sure that that's how that happens.
Okay. Who, would we do that motion? We can't, right?
Somebody from the floor. One of our, you know,
Yeah.
Okay,
constituents will
okay,
make the motion.
to have the budget presentation, okay. Okay,
Wouldn't they be
No, they-
motioning to accept
Motioning
it?
to accept the article, to accept the budget.
And
So
then
my
second,
recommendation
right.
would be that the budget presentation comes before any articles are presented. Otherwise, someone's motioning from the floor to accept the budget without
Knowing the
the
budget.
presentation that we're about to do, which is fine.
Don't they have to anyway, and then if they vote no, no matter what, even if they don't, right? Because you always have to say the motion, even if you don't want it to happen. And then you have
Right.
to second it, and then they say yes, they vote it yes or no. That makes sense.
So
And then
if-
there's a big discussion in the middle, usually he stops.
So in the past, we've had a constituent group of constituents who have wanted a budget presentation, discussion.
right,
And, I kind of figured that would happen after a motion.
for the
motion-
article.
Yeah, I think Samanda's right.
For
The
the
motion has to
article.
happen regardless. Either it's gonna be passed or it's not gonna be passed.
Correct. What is
So-
Article 1?
Article 1
Is
is
the-
the Australian ballot election.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think she's right. I mean, either the motion has to be made regardless. Either it's gonna be passed or it's gonna be not be passed. So once the motion's made, then for discussion, it can be the presentation.
And then voter discussion with the board on any of the topics from
Yeah.
the presentation or.
Or from whatever they
town-
want from the town
booklet or
report.
Town report, or, whatever.
Yeah,
I
And
guess
then-
I'm just not clear on the statutory authority for the board to enter into the discussion once the motion's been made by the floor. It's driven by the voters at that point, once we get into the articles. In the past, I've seen the budget presentations presented before articles are voted on, and then the articles are moved through one at a time, and the public has the opportunity for discussion.
Oh. I don't.
So the only thing so when the presentation's made, there is no discussion.
Correct.
That's what he's saying.
But they can ask questions after, if we present it, then they make the motion,
Then,
then they can ask questions about the presentation.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Otherwise, it seems like we're putting the cart before the horse.
I agree, I kind of
We
agree
just
with
have
that.
budget
Okay.
numbers on the article, but we haven't had an opportunity to deliver our information to the voters.
Oh, okay.
so this isn't the information in its entirety.
Well, no, it is.
Yes.
You're flavorful of it. How you're doing it now is you're just flavorizing it by making the presentation.
Correct, because people had said that that's something they would like to see is some things, even though it's all in the book, they still wanted
That's a
something.
lot to
We'd
read.
be walking
They
in under the
created a
assumption that they've read the
PowerPoint
book,
Yeah.
presentation. that
as
they're
opposed to
gonna
the
have.
folks who show
Yeah.
up looking for information, which may be where that feedback
Have you
is.
just the time to do it and you're not interrupted?
Right.
You go through it. One thing while we're on that subject matter, different facets of the budget are more keenly, some are more keenly aware than others that you'd like to have them. So when the discussion's being asked from the floor, I'd like to know who to turn to for answering the question.
It's probably, Jen, are you hearing this question? It depends on, we're gonna probably go to you first, right? And then if we need more information, we're gonna look to Jen. Is
Absolutely.
that our plan of attack? Okay,
Okay,
yep,
does that seem to work before?
yep. Yep, that will be, so what, I'm still confused on when we're doing the
We're doing
presentation.
it before he says article,
I think we
Two.
should do it before all the,
At the beginning of,
correct.
up here.
Whatever is the last item prior to the article.
So after our introductions.
No.
no, article 1 is the Australian,
Yep,
and then we go into the budget, but before we do, we just do this presentation, then go into the budget, right? Is that what you're saying?
Alex was saying before.
Alex
the
was saying
articles.
before any
I'll defer
articles.
to Paul,
Oh, okay.
whatever
Okay.
he thinks the flow should be. In my mind, it's after your introductions,
Okay.
after the meeting started, we would then do our presentation.
Right?
I don't have that paper in front of me, so I'm not sure what the other bullets say.
yep,
But I think it should be before any of the articles are voted on, because then Paul can just go Article 1, Article 2, Article 3,
true.
I
through
agree.
and have the discussions then.
Okay, so,
And during the presentation, they can also ask questions. There can be a dialogue there. It filters through Paul. They would ask the questions to Paul, and he would defer to the board.
Because it's,
because we could do it here, because he's introducing Town Administrator Alex Goddard in the front row with Finance Director Jen.
but it's also not all on the budget, there's other,
Oh,
a
true.
couple other notifications, and there are important,
True,
Blurb, so
that's
it's-
right.
it's a
So
year
that's
in
why I think-
overview.
I think that's why it's important to do it, not necessarily do it after Article 1, because then it can be, all the
True.
information can apply to the entire town meeting and not just
You're right.
finances.
Right after our intros, or the housekeeping, or however you wanna call it.
Well, after we open the meeting.
Yeah.
And you're gonna introduce Town Administrator Alex and Jen and allowing them to speak, because they're not Hyde Park residents, so we need to inform them of that.
I really don't want to talk about school issues though. You know, so when you make a presentation that has nothing to do with the school, is that correct?
No, I don't know anything about the school. So I can't talk about the
That
school.
being the case, I wondered why the presentation was made before Article 1.
Because we're talking about the year in review, it's not necessarily all budget
It's stuff that
related.
the town, that
It's
happened
what-
in the
yeah.
town.
It's
throughout the year.
town events, town things,
That's
but
good.
not,
It's
not
school
necessarily.
stuff.
Okay,
And Paul, we can send you home with a copy of the draft presentation.
yeah,
It's reflecting on the last year, looking forward to next year, and also capturing
that should work well.
what the fiscal
okay.
26 budget's gonna look like.
Okay,
Yep.
just want to avoid those kind of. Don't want anybody to bring up stuff, so I'll have to send them down sideways.
I know. No. Okay, so this is where we'll do it in here then. I'm just gonna call it presentation, not
Yeah. budget,
right? Cause
Yep.
then it's more town presentation. How about
Yep,
that? Okay. Okay,
So I feel that should also be changed on the presentation.
and then what?
That should also get changed then.
Oh, true.
What does it say?
Budget. FY17 budget, we should just say overview. Yeah, overview or something. Yep. Okay. Okay. So I think that's good, right?
Okay.
And then anything else that comes up. Right? Do you want to add anything? You look like you do.
Well, only because I've heard people say they're not coming because they're afraid that it's going to be a session. There's a preceding word that I didn't use, about village issues. So we need to be very firm that this is not a village issue
Meeting.
meeting. This is a town meeting, and the village meeting is in May, and they can bring those issues up in May.
So, do you know when that date is? Or
It's
we can talk tomorrow.
typically the first
I can find
Tuesday
out.
in May.
Okay. Because when I do my little blurb in the beginning, then I think I need to make that very clear.
Yeah,
That is a very good point.
that we're not here to talk school budgets, we're not
Here to talk village budgets, yeah.
village.
Issues.
Concerns, anything like that.
Which I was already going to talk about the school
Yeah.
budget anyway.
But you
Yeah.
could say.
So I can add that to my
the
little
same thing
spiel.
the village has, or the school has meetings.
Yeah,
Zoom
That's
and
in-
in person that they can attend to. if-
That's
if
it.
they
I have a
session.
draft going and I actually have that in it. So I'll add village to that, Kim,
yeah.
for sure.
We've had
Good
quite a few
idea.
people say,
I didn't even-
It's just gonna be and we're like, no.
I don't know if it will
No.
be because no one's attended any of our board meetings to
I
complain.
know, I
So-
know, but people don't separate
True.
the town and the village when you see the complaints online.
Yeah,
you
you're
know.
right. You're right.
So we keep telling them that's a village issue,
Mm-hmm.
that's not a town issue. If it comes up, it will be squashed.
Okay.
So that's what we've been telling people.
Okay. So I'll add that to my.
I'm gonna edit this for you and I'll email it to you and Chastity.
Since I changed it all up. Thank you, Kim. Okay. I think we're good. We'll see you next week. With bells on. Well, if you do, let me know. Thank you. Thank you, Kim. Oh, do we want to give him this? Okay.
May 5th, Jesse. It's the first Tuesday.
Oh, it's May 5th.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you next week. Okay. LCPC.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm not sure if I met with this board since the new members from last year or 2 years ago, but
Yeah.
I'm Alec Jones. I'm the transportation planner with LCPC. I'm now in charge of editing your local hazard mitigation plan. Mark left LCPC to go back to school, so
Oh.
I don't know. I think he had been to a couple meetings with you guys on this. The quick update is it came back from VEM with a lot of comments, so I'm working through those comments now. And one thing Mark didn't get to before he left was the public comment period. So 2 weeks ago, I think I sent to Alex and to Justin the public comment announcement, and I just wanted a few minutes at your meeting to offer a space for public comment to be heard. That can come from you guys if you have anything to add.
Okay.
Otherwise, not a lot of public here. So
Yeah.
we don't have to sit around too long.
That's
but-
true. That's true. Now, the comments that you got back, is there anything that you want to call out particularly to tell us about, or
There's nothing as
to-
of yet. A lot of it has to do because we didn't do the public comment first before we sent it to VEM.
Sure.
So a lot of their comments were, "Where's your public comment?"
Sure.
There was a couple additions, like we didn't reference landslides
Okay.
in the proper way that VEM likes to see it. So
Oh.
it's just adding language and data.
Gotcha. Okay.
Other than that, it's going to be real nitpicky kind of
Gotcha.
just small language.
Okay.
And you guys will have an opportunity to see the fully edited version before we send it back to VEM.
Okay.
For approval.
Okay. And then will we do another public comment then, or no?
Nope. So
No need?
this isn't like a town plan. You don't need a public hearing for these.
Gotcha. Okay.
So this is just a kind of informal way to get public comment. I'm also doing one with the village
Okay.
at their March meeting.
Okay.
So they will have the same kind of opportunity to give comments since it is a joint plan.
Okay. Okay.
And Alec, I'm gonna get you an updated contact list.
Okay.
That whole section needs to be revised.
Okay.
There's been some turnover,
Sure.
especially in the village.
Yep.
So I'll get you that.
Okay.
So you can incorporate it.
All right. Yeah, I'm hoping that we'll get through this process before our field season really ramps up.
Okay.
So hopefully by end of spring, we'll be sending this back to VEM.
Okay, great.
Yep. So unless you guys have any other comments or there's comments from anyone else in the room, they can still, the notice has my email in it.
Okay.
So anybody can send comments to us
Oh,
up
okay.
until I think March 9th is the end of the comment period.
Okay.
And then as soon as I get the VEM that it's done, we'll, you guys will see another version.
Okay, great. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll probably see you next month. Okay. North Hyde Park scoping study.
Looks like we have Kat on the line.
Yep, looks like Cat.
No,
Hi.
I haven't been, so I know.
Hi, Cat. How are you?
Okay, there we go.
Yep.
Hi, I'm good. It's Kate, actually. No,
Kate.
I
Okay, sorry.
Hi, how's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Good. So I'm here. I think I see Valerie in this room. There she is.
Sure do.
On the scoping steering committee for this project. So I have a slide deck prepared. If I share my screen, are folks going to be able to see that in the room?
Should be able to. Yep.
That sounds great. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
How's the audio? I'm gonna try to bring it up.
Volume?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, there we go.
I thought it was just me. I put my hearing aid in.
Okay.
I was gonna say, going for the rest of us.
Oh, look at our new sign.
There we go.
I know. It looks
It
so
looks
good.
so good.
I know. I swapped out photos in this presentation because we had it with some older photos, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, we've got gorgeous photos of the new signs in summertime. I'm going to use those. All right, so I'm here to go over. We're on pretty much on the tail end of the North Hyde Park Village Walkways and River Shore Path scoping study. I'm here to tell you folks all about it. So the project team was consisted of a few folks at Du Bois and King. The project manager for this project is Emily Lewis. I'm Kate Campbell. I'm a landscape designer, and we were assisted by Jenny Austin, who is a transportation engineer. We also had an agency partner through the Vermont Agency of Transportation, John Lemieux, as well as several people from Hyde Park, including Alex Goddard, Jennifer Trico, Cassidy Fagnan, Savannah Droney, Dale Porter, Nicole Capozzelli, Capozzelio, and Valerie, who's in the room with you now. So this project is a scoping study that was specifically looking at exploring creating either a village walkway or a river shore path in North Hyde Park along Route 100 in the vicinity of Ferry Street. This project was sort of preceded by several other multimodal projects done in the village over the last 10 years. And the project is really exploring elements like sidewalks, additional parking, and providing access to maybe green spaces. Specifically, the project was trying to explore highway crosswalks within the designated village center, public parking, and pedestrian safety and lighting. So for folks who aren't aware, and you're saying, what is a scoping study? A scoping study is essentially the step that you take before you start to go into things like construction level documents. So the town plan will provide a community with a vision for what the town is trying to, what direction the town or the village is trying to move in. And then a scoping study will be a way to explore the feasibility of certain elements. So in this case, we're talking about some multimodal transportation in the form of a sidewalk. And we do this before construction documents because this is an excellent and much more cost-effective way to find out about site constraints, cost, feasibility, before you actually go into that construction level phase. And it's also an excellent opportunity for members of the community to share their input and voice concerns or support. So the project area was along the Route 100 corridor in North Hyde Park, starting at this white line here at the intersection of 100 and 100C, and going all the way to the north to this white line right here, which is right around the North Hyde Park and Eden Fire Station. And the project area, as you're likely aware, encompasses both the post office and Guyon Valley Hall. Just a few photos from the project area. You can see the old church, the post office, the Guyon Millwork business. There's also a connection to Ferry Street, and the project area terminates to the south at the 100C bridge over the Guyon River. So the past work that this project leaned on the most were these three projects. That would be a similar streetscape scoping report from 2016, and a walking and a walk bike study in 2021, and then a demonstration crosswalk project in 2022. These efforts looked at really ways to improve pedestrian infrastructure in the village. The 2016 report was proposing a new pedestrian network, and the 2021 identified locations for pilot projects, which actually kicked off the 2022 project, and also proposed locations for things like gateway signs, which are now there, and was also making the case that local infrastructure improvements would really help with economic and village vitality. So what we learned from these projects was that the traffic speeds on 100 in the village were making these roads feel dangerous for pedestrians, particularly people who were moving with children, and that there can be a lack of a formal sense when arriving into the village via Route 100. So visitors might not be aware that they're even entering a village area where they might need to look out for pedestrians. We also learned that parking during events is generally a challenge because there's really no official public parking in the village, and event coordination really relies heavily on the cooperation of nearby private property owners. Also, the demonstration project done in 2022 was in the form of having a temporary crosswalk. It was near the post office, and the result of that was to learn that while that is a desirable location for a crosswalk, placing it directly in front of the post office would create challenges for traffic flow for post office vehicles coming and going. What has changed since then? One of the first changes is that the gateway signs have been installed, which is awesome. And the Guyon Valley Hall restoration project has already started and is ongoing. And there have also been changes on the state level in VTrans policy to allow additional flexibility for crosswalks in designated village centers, which North Hyde Park is. So the goals for this specific project, which we touched on earlier, were to through the scoping study process, we prioritized which improvements for the village to pursue next. We drafted several alternative concepts that explored these improvements, and then we also developed preliminary costs and project phasing. Specifically, we were looking at sidewalks. So the big picture on the left is the existing conditions, and the picture on the right is sort of the nature of the types of sidewalks we were thinking about. So either curbed adjacent to the road or with a green buffer, not adjacent to the roads. And we were also looking at ways to have more publicly accessible parking. So currently we have a picture of the Millwork property where folks tend to park, but it's not necessarily the only solution that you maybe would be able to have in this location. And then we included a few precedent images of types of parking solutions that might work in North Hyde Park. This scoping study also aligns up with the town's municipal goals. Specifically, when we're looking at the most recent municipal plan that was adopted at the end of last year, I realize now it says 2026, it should say 2025. But the municipal plan states that in addition to being a state highway, Route 100 within North Hyde Park serves as the main street of the village. And that as the area develops, it will be necessary to create pedestrian infrastructure and streetscape improvements to accommodate the needs of both traffic to local residents and customers. And the document also points out correctly that a sidewalk along Route 100 within the village would match the historical development pattern of the area. And we actually have a photo of North Hyde Park back when the road was narrower and there was actually a sidewalk going along the road. And you can then compare that to that same location today where the road is much wider, but there's no pedestrian sidewalk. The municipal plan also included, the land use section also had a comment regarding that there needs to be more sufficient parking within the village of North Hyde Park, but that there would be an emphasis on that parking whenever possible be either not to visually dominate the landscape and to be either to the side or behind buildings when possible. And that there was also a chapter within the municipal plan on health and wellness, talking about the town's desire to focus on things like social inclusion and active living and active transportation. And elements like pedestrian networks are directly tied to these goals. So as a first step in this, one of the first steps in this process was to evaluate the existing conditions of the area. Some of the factors that we looked at, and I'll just sort of briefly mention these, but if anyone has any questions about any of them, I'm happy to go into more detail. So we were looking at the current land use of the area. So like, are these homes, are these businesses? Is there any daycare centers in the area? Roadway data and characteristics like crashes and traffic, existing utilities that might get in the way of construction. So like underground utilities or overhead lines, natural resources, that's things like hydric soils and wetlands, and a historic resources inventory to see if there are any older buildings that or features that maybe can't be touched through the process of construction and would therefore need to be protected, and an archaeological resource assessment for any resources that would be predating the arrival of Europeans. We also did a few public engagement events to allow the public to voice any thoughts about this process, about this project. The first one being a local concerns meeting last May. The overall takeaways from this meeting were that attendees of the meeting noted that there was a need for improved pedestrian facilities along 100 in North Hyde Park, and that there was also support to adding a green space, although some people questioned, would people use it? And people also acknowledged that adding this pedestrian infrastructure might be a multi-step process and that it maybe wouldn't happen overnight. So those are sort of the high arching themes of that meeting. Following the public local concerns meeting and the collections of existing conditions data, Du Bois and King then drafted several proposed alternatives for pedestrian infrastructure in the village. and we presented them to the public at an alternatives meeting in September of last year. The takeaways from that meeting were that overall attendees expressed a general support for adding a sidewalk in the village, and of the options we offered, which I'll show in just a moment, preferred the option that had a green strip between the sidewalk and the road rather than having the sidewalk immediately adjacent to the road, and that there was an acknowledgement that there would also need to be ongoing maintenance that would happen with any new pedestrian infrastructure, particularly noting that there would need to be plowing in the winter. And in addition to these two meetings, members of the steering committee directly reached out to the public at a few public events that were happening right around the time of the alternative meeting, specifically at the Hyde Park Old Home Day and going door to door within the village. The overall takeaways from this community outreach was that most of the people that the steering committee members talked to supported the idea of having a sidewalk on the west side of 100 with a buffer, but that there was overall a large emphasis on the need for pedestrian safety and access to resources like the hall and the post office. And that generally speaking, that there was a strong support for just any sort of improvement to pedestrian safety and access to community resources. So we shared at that alternative meeting 4 drafted alternatives and then a 5th alternative that we call a no build. So no build is this first one right here. It essentially means that no changes are being proposed. So that's nothing other than regular maintenance being changed. Of the other 4 that we proposed, there was basically similar flavors between the 4, but with key differences. So there was either a sidewalk on the east side of the road with a green buffer, or a sidewalk on the east side of the road with no buffer and a curb, or there was a sidewalk on the west side of the road with a green buffer, or a sidewalk on the west side of the road with no buffer and a curb. Ultimately, through public feedback, it was determined that the alternative that was most desired by the community was to have a sidewalk on the west side of the road with a green buffer separating the sidewalk from traffic. So here we have some section illustrations of that preferred alternative. So you can see that in addition to proposing that there be a 5-foot sidewalk with a 5-foot green buffer, that the lane width along 100 also be narrowed down to 11-foot lanes with a 4-foot shoulder. And also in a few areas, that green buffer is replaced with a curb to allow for a few specific instances of on-street parking. Over here, we have an overview map of this preferred alternative. So generally speaking, it's a 5-foot wide sidewalk with a 5-foot wide buffer, but in a few locations, that buffer has been replaced with either on-street parking, which you'll see in these 2 brown spots down here. That's where the parking locations are being proposed. Or in a few locations right around Ferry Street near Guyon Millwork, where the right-of-way is just a bit narrower than other parts in the project area, and we're then proposing a 5-foot wide sidewalk with a curb immediately adjacent to the road.
Kate, is there a way to zoom in on that image?
I think so, yes. There we go. Ooh. Ooh. All right, I think I can zoom in. Should I zoom in a little more?
No, I can. That's better for me.
Yeah, that looks good. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, so additionally, as we started to develop the preferred alternative, we also are making the recommendation that this alternative be developed in 2 phases. Phase 1 being from the intersection of 100 and 100C up to Guyon Millwork, and phase 2 being from Guyon Millwork to the North Hyde Park / Eden Fire Station. We were also suggesting that for the section of road within phase 1, that there be pedestrian scale lighting to allow for greater safety of people walking around after dark. And let me know when it's okay for me to go to the next slide.
I have a question if you don't mind.
Yes.
What's the 3 Windy Hill Drive?
Yes, that is a property that we've called out on here. This map came from the scoping city documents. There's a little bit more text to accompany it. But in that location specifically, the right-of-way is narrower than other locations, combined with the fact that there is a wide driveway there. That's a location where we're not suggesting a green buffer, but instead are suggesting a curbed sidewalk.
That answers my question.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
I think we're good, Kate.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we have here is our this plan in a little bit more detail. So I've got 4 of these drafted drawings. And if my slideshow, there we go. So you can see here, this is the southern end of the project area at the intersection of 100C and 100, where you can see we have drafted in those 11-foot lanes with 4-foot shoulders. And you can see here, this is about what we're thinking of when we talk about transitioning from a green buffer to a sidewalk with a curb to allow for on-street parking. So this is one of those 2 locations where you could fit approximately, depending on how large you want to make the spaces, 13 to 18 cars. In addition to that, we're also proposing several potential locations for temporary event parking. So sort of with the understanding that we've selected 4 locations that this might be appropriate for, and have the understanding that potentially not all of them are going to be available. So we're suggesting more to allow the town a little bit more flexibility to pick out which one might be most appropriate to pursue. So one of those locations is right here, where we've outlined in yellow at the Hyde Park Fire District building, where you could potentially have a small temporary parking lot that could be accessed by this crosswalk right here, allowing folks to park their car there and then go north to maybe the hall or the post office.
Kate, can we just quickly zoom in
Oh,
there?
yes.
Thanks. Just for the recording so folks can see what we're talking about.
Oh, good. Okay,
So
I'll
it's
make sure to
it's
do
that
that on the,
building right there.
Yep. So it's highlighted in yellow,
It's kind of yellowish.
just south of the red top.
Oh, right there. Oh, okay. Got it.
there we go. All right, I'm actually going to zoom in on this one a little bit. And so this is just a little bit further north than that last image we saw. You can see the second parking area right here, between these 2 parking spaces that are separated by parking areas that are separated by a driveway. You could have anywhere from 6 to 8 vehicles parked. And then that would allow folks to park their cars on the street and travel directly to any of the resources in the area. And then another thing to draw attention to on this drawing is that right about up here is where the right-of-way starts to get narrower. And so this is the location where, rather than having that green buffer, we're proposing the sidewalk be immediately adjacent to the road, but with a curb. And we're also proposing a crosswalk right here north of the post office that would allow folks access to and from Ferry Street to get to the sidewalk.
So the crosswalk would be
Just
after Ferry Street
Yeah.
as we're headed
Yeah.
to Eden? Okay.
And that was something that came about after considering sort of how the installation project in 2022 had gone and sort of the takeaways that came from that. And then, there we go. Again, we're getting just a little bit further north. We are now at the location where 100 goes over the Guyon. And in this location, we're sort of continuing that curb sidewalk. Field measurements of the bridge that goes over the Guyon indicate that it's very likely that a 5-foot sidewalk would not fit in this location. So for specifically going over the bridge, we're recommending a 4-foot sidewalk that's curbed. This would also involve likely having to replace the guard railing on that side to make it be acceptable, to make it be up to like safety standards for pedestrian travel. And then this curb sidewalk continues right up until that property that we spoke about a few moments ago, before the right-of-way starts widens out and you're able to have a green buffer again. We also have another potential parking location right here across the street from Guyon Millwork, which could hold approximately 20 to 29 vehicles. And the last slide is right here, is the northernmost section of the project area where the proposed sidewalk terminates at the North Hyde Park / Eden Fire Station and continues that 5-foot sidewalk with 5-foot green buffer. And as part of this study, we also conducted an opinion of probable construction costs. We have split those costs out between phases 1 and 2, which is, as a reminder, phase 1 is the southern, about 2/3 of the project area. Phase 2 is the northern 1/3 of the project area. Of the alternatives that we explored, this one was actually one of the, if it wasn't the lowest cost one, it was one of the lowest cost ones, where phase 1 would come out at roughly, we're approximating $1 million, and phase 2 would be $700,000. In addition, on top of that were street lights to be added into this area. There would also be additional costs. And we've also rolled into that additional cost the relocation of utility poles, since they're owned by the village. So if you include the cost of street lights and utility poles, phase 1 would be roughly $1.3 million, and phase 2 would be $710,000 approximately.
Kate, did you get an answer from the village on the utility pole relocation, or did you guys provide those estimates based on the VTrans?
We base those on VTrans, yes.
Okay, thanks.
So next steps would be considering the acceptance of the scoping study. It would be a strong, adopting the scoping study would be a strong asset to have when pursuing state funding. And the select board would determine when and if to pursue final design and construction funding. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns?
I have a question, and I don't know if you answered this and I missed it, but like, so from beginning to end of the sidewalk, like how far, like how much distance, how much sidewalk, like walking space is that going to add, or would that add?
Oh, I can tell you in just a moment, actually. Here, I'll share my screen again. So the length of phase 1 is 2,000 feet, and the length of phase 2 is 1,200 square feet. So roughly 3,200 square feet, 3,200 linear feet.
Thank you.
It's a pretty exciting study.
It was definitely a fun thing to do. I always get excited when I get to do anything related to bike or pet. I'm always like, I'm on board. Yeah. And thank you for the shock reminder that it was the last week of February when I was listening to folks talk about the town meeting coming up next week. Oh my gosh, that's next week.
Yes, crazy. February's already over.
For me,
yeah,
the best part of the study was the door-to-door
Was it?
Because we really didn't have a lot of participation at the public meetings.
Yeah.
Valerie, did you want to come up?
Yeah, come right up.
So we didn't have a lot of participation at the public meetings, and so,
Sorry. Alex said we had to.
so Nicole and I went after a weekday after work. It's around like 5:30, and thankfully a nice dry evening. And we just went door to door, and we knocked on doors. And if people weren't home, we left them a flyer with some information. So I'm sorry, I don't have how many houses and all that, but I'd say we probably met with about 65 to 70% of the neighbors. And good conversations, and they were all pretty much in agreement that it's too fast, it's unsafe, that they would get out more, and if there was a sidewalk. So yeah, it was a positive experience. And there was one resident who they've been residents here a couple of years maybe, and they remembered seeing they're from out of state, and they remembered seeing some of the reports from Hyde Park when they did the first scoping, and there was conversations of it being a walkable, bikeable community, and that was one of the reasons why they bought their house.
Oh, interesting.
So we were like, oh yeah, so thinking about the whole potential and redevelopment and making it anyway. So yeah.
That's awesome.
So it was a very positive experience, and it was, I think when the rubber hits the road and then people see the money and they think about, having their yard being reduced a little bit, then the conversation will be different.
Sure.
But right now.
Or
it
maybe
was good.
not. Or maybe not.
Yeah. But it was positive.
Yeah.
There's definitely not a lot of front yard to work with already,
Right.
Yeah.
so maybe a sidewalk would be beneficial.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's exciting.
At least as far when Alex and I were just down there, just having people on the road, it substantially slowed down the traffic just flying through there.
I mean, people go. I mean,
It was
I go fast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird. There's, the speed limit sign, but it's still not, this is a village,
I know. Yeah.
When we have our events at the hall, we put the cones out,
Sure.
and that dramatically slows people down.
Yeah. It's like we need to keep those up all the time. Just keep them up. Slow people
The
down.
whole parking, I think the on-street parking, to me is good. The other parking lot options, they're still far enough away from
They
the
are.
hall that it
Yeah.
really, thinking about some of the events that we could have there that we don't because of the safety issues.
Sure. Visually, I can't picture parking on the side of that road, and I can't picture it fitting. It seems so narrow
but
to
they're gonna
me.
make the roads
the
a little
road
narrow.
is
I know,
so
but-
wide.
Is it that wide
It
through?
really is
Okay.
wide, and that's why people drive so fast through there.
Okay.
I mean, I drive it twice a day.
Sure, yeah.
And it's actually
Okay.
pretty wide. Narrowing it would really slow people down.
I mean, they say that the nature is that we do slow down when
Yeah.
it narrows down, but
Valerie, when you have events at the hall, how many people do you have generally in attendance? Because this is saying
Our biggest
roughly
event,
45 new parking spots.
our biggest event, the Hoot Nanny in the fall is our big event. We had the Mall Family Center had their annual meeting last year, and we had over 50 people there, and so they had a parking attendant, thankfully, who was
Jeff Huntsberger.
Jeff Huntsberger, who
He's out there
was
in the rain.
taking care of the parking, thankfully, because it was probably 40-ish cars that were parked there,
So-
and
Right.
Roughly
The
the
plan.
same number of folks
Yeah.
you get at town meeting day.
yeah.
right. But I
There was
think
80 last time.
if you had better parking, I think that you would have bigger events too.
Yeah.
Right? I
Yeah,
mean, I
we-
think
we
that
certainly, I think it would be more attractive. Last year, we also had just some traffic from Eden, the lake,
Mm-hmm.
the vacationers coming down and coming to the trivia event and coming to line dancing, and so
Yeah.
that was fun too. So yeah.
Okay. So next steps are what?
Look at funding.
Look at funding. Beg for money. Go beg for
Do
money.
you need to accept this?
You need to move your thing. We need to accept the study.
Oh, yes, 100%.
Um,
I'm good.
Kate, were you looking for a motion from the board?
I don't think I was. I do I have standing? But I'm not. Yeah, I'm not entirely certain if I'm supposed to ask for that. You'll have to excuse me. This is sort of my first time doing this by myself.
It looks like V-Trans still had some comments.
They
on the
do, yes.
overall project.
Yes.
So this is like the nuts and bolts of the project, but they still had some comments.
okay,
So we might hear from Du Bois and King again.
sure.
So I think maybe hold off
Okay.
on accepting.
Okay.
We worked through most of the comments were they were really they didn't materially affect any of what you saw tonight. So we worked through most of those comments earlier this week, and we're anticipating having that done by the end of the week. So I'll maybe get it to folks Friday or Monday.
It was really semantics and how they were wording things inside the project to comply with any kind of V-Trans grant,
Got it.
aka TAP funding.
Dotting our I's and crossing our T's.
Got
Yes, exactly.
it. Okay. Well, awesome. Does anyone have any other questions, thoughts?
I think just a big shout out to Du Bois and King
Yeah.
and Valerie.
Valerie.
Thank you, Valerie.
Who
Thank you.
quite
All-
literally went door to door
Yeah.
all through North Hyde Park and has been pretty integral in bringing this all together.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How many years now, Valerie? Have you been working on this?
It started last?
Oh, I was thinking you were involved before. No, you weren't involved in the one before?
I wasn't part of the original one.
Ah.
Dale was.
Okay, that's maybe what I'm thinking of. Okay. Great.
The other nurse.
Right, the other nurse. Thank you, Valerie. Yes, thank you very much, Kate.
Oh,
Much,
of course.
we appreciate all the hard work.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been it's been a real pleasure getting to get to know North Hyde Park, and I can't speak highly enough of the steering committee on this project. They really showed up.
Yeah, they're a pretty passionate group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and thank you so much for your time, and good luck at town meeting day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a great
Thanks,
night.
Bye.
Cold air came in.
I just thought that.
Oh
I
my
was
goodness.
Like, why did I get cold all of a sudden?
Good evening, Jen.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. Looks like we need to adopt this municipal bond policy.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how it was missed, but when I started to do the annual financial reporting for the bond bank, I have to certify that we followed these compliance procedures.
Sure.
And so I took the sample straight from the bond bank and
Perfect.
essentially made it into ours just by changing the word municipality to the town of Hyde Park here and there sprinkled throughout.
Yeah.
The document outlines the procedures that should be followed each year to ensure that the bond proceeds have been expended and that the assets are still being used for purposes intended.
Yep.
If the proceeds are not expended, what regulations should be followed, as well as what steps should be taken for record retention, reporting, and communication needed to stay compliant. And so we've done all this by, with the prior bond proceeds, by doing that certificate of project completion, and me just going through these steps of annual financial reporting, sharing our final audit with the bond bank, And I am hoping to have an emotion to have the effective date of the issuance of our first municipal bond,
Mhm.
which was March 6th of 2025.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions?
Only question I had, Jen, is what you wrote it here about the wording of chief financial officer.
The compliance official?
Compliance official.
Nope, I guess, sorry, line 1, whatever, bullet 1.
It's the definition of the compliance official being the chief financial officer
Oh.
Okay,
of the municipality,
okay.
which it says, to the extent or the same or not exercised by the municipal treasurer. I guess I would assume responsibility since I'm the one that does the annual financial reporting. And I just kind of kept that wording vague.
Yeah, I just didn't want it to be like, we don't technically have a CFO, so does that matter?
Right, and should it be finance director? I mean, she's pretty much the same thing, isn't she? To the extent the same.
It's such a small detail, I don't know if it
To the
matters, I
extent
just
the
didn't know.
same or not exercised by the municipal treasurer. It's probably not.
The first bullet.
Yeah, so number 1.
Municipal official. Or employee. So it
Right.
says the municipal official or,
I just don't know if we'll ever have, I mean,
so it's or employee possessing the statutory or contractual powers, functions, and responsibilities of a CFO. So that would be her.
But we're not calling out
So it'd be
a
of,
specific position, correct?
correct.
That's you.
But it's, why is it me?
Because you're the municipal official with the statutory or contractual powers.
But it says or.
Yeah, but the buck stops with the select board. So you guys are in charge of administering the finances of the town. So in my mind, that's the select board chair.
very Chastity in there.
Right, because Kim couldn't purchase a fire truck without coming to the select board. Jen could not enter into a contract without going to the select board. We don't have a CFO, we don't have a town manager. I believe that would be the select board chair.
Why would it be me?
Like,
So,
maybe we do want to call it out, Jen. Because I don't
I
know.
feel like when I read through this, these are things that my position would do.
That's how I feel too.
Correct, and delegated authority from the select board.
Right.
So I think that it's fine.
I do too.
Jen's not going to go purchase a fire truck without coming and talking to you guys
Right.
or anything like that.
Or nor
So,
can she, really.
Yeah, and because no specific positions called out in that procurement policy,
Okay.
I think we're good.
Okay. So how about a
then I
motion
will
for it?
make a motion to approve the municipal bond post issuance compliance procedure policy with the effective date of the issuance of our first municipal bond. Ooh, that was a lot.
Okay, do I have a second?
Should we say the date?
I was just gonna say that.
March
Say
6th,
the
2025.
date, March 6th.
Sorry, March 6th,
2020.
2025.
Yep. Perfect. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained. Perfect. Okay. We didn't have anything else for you, did we, Jen? Other than the warrants?
You missed one, Chastity.
I did. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that was all I had for you guys tonight.
Pretty easy tonight.
The yellow tag.
Thank you for the presentation, Jen.
I think it's just the yellow tag, Chastity. I don't know why.
It came up.
Oh, okay.
We looked at that. Oh, but you're not working, right? So you don't care about changes I'm making to it, right?
You can do with it what you wish. I just did what I was asked.
Thank you.
It's fantastic.
And it was fantastic. Thank
It
you
was
very
great.
much.
Let me just put that backwards.
Thank you. Okay, did you guys look at all the warrants?
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve the warrants.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained. Okay. Okay, Jen, we can let you go then,
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Jen.
Have a
unless
good
you want to
evening.
hang out.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, watershed grant authorization.
So this is a holdover from last year. It's for the Not in Hyde Park Committee. They did not expend all of their funds this year. They had toyed with the idea of releasing the funds back to watershed and then reapplying this year for additional grant funding in a very small amount. Fish and Wildlife kicked it back and said, why don't you just keep it? We'll draft an amendment. You guys will sign the grant. We'll extend it through the fiscal year.
Oh, no kidding.
It was good enough that I just signed and returned,
Okay,
so they can continue to work on their projects, looking for retroactive authorization to sign that.
okay,
I'll make a motion for you to sign the watershed grant authorization.
okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained.
And for the last meeting of the year, we're keeping it easy on you.
I
That's all I
know.
got.
Jeez, okie dokie.
Last meeting of the year.
Last
See you
meeting
on
of the
March
year.
5th.
Yeah, right? Okay, Justin, newsletter. Any? No, just went
Yeah,
out.
so I will be sending out the draft later tonight or
Okay.
early in the morning.
Okay.
But are there any comments or sections, events, etc., that you want put in there?
Amy put in the section, you got Amy's email, right?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Amy's email about Think Spring?
Oh yeah, I got her
Perfect.
recommendations. Yep.
When will that go out, Justin? Like what? When will this one be distributed?
I would say Saturday morning.
So before town meeting.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, I'll get you something then. Okay.
Okay, so I should expect something regarding town meeting.
Yep.
Might be a
So-
good place for candidates for select board positions.
True. Yeah, they're gonna be in the paper.
Are they?
Yeah, because he
This week?
supposed to reach out. I don't know if they all replied, but he was reaching out to all of
I
them.
talked to him.
So. Okay, minutes. Can I
And we
have
had I distributed both of those this morning.
Yep.
Not sure if you had any comments about January 27th. And I noticed the ones for February had a 2025 date. We can just update.
July 22nd of 2025. I didn't catch that on the template.
Oh, I'm like, where are you guys looking? Well, and it says June 8th too. It says Tuesday, July 8th at the top.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what am I looking at?
I was literally reading this being like, what is in this?
I know, I was like, why are we
It was a
getting this
template.
from July?
supposed to read something that happened in 20?
I know, I was looking at it, I'm like,
It's
why
too
are we, I was like, are we looking at something from July? I was like,
Okay.
what's going on?
So the date is wrong at the top
That's
And at the bottom.
and at the bottom.
okay. This is, we can handle this.
Okay.
It for sure happened in January.
So I have to abstain from that one, so you can't do them together. Sorry. I left very early.
Oh, yeah, that's when you were sick. Yep. Okay. Okay. Can I have a motion?
So I'll make a motion to accept the minutes with the changes of the July 8th, 2025 to January 8th, 2025 and
2026.
sorry, thank you, 2026.
No, it should be January 27th.
No.
It should.
Hang on. I gotta get the date.
Yeah, it
No.
said.
Yeah, no,
wrote
thank you.
January.
For the, I make a motion to
February
accept,
20th.
February 10th.
February 10th.
accept the minutes with the changes of the date being January 27th, 2026 and the next meeting being February.
No.
No, it's February 10th. Should be
We have to
February
do two different ones.
Yeah, so we have to do, this one should say February 10th.
Okay.
Yep. We have to do two different motions because Savannah.
And that's it. And then this right here, and then this right here doesn't need to really, that doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then leave that one.
That one's, okay.
That was
Start
fine.
with that one.
Sorry.
And Justin will clean up the motion. Do we have a second?
I know, we're like, whoa, that's
I
way
will
off.
second that.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's start over, you guys. That was really sloppy. Okay,
Let's end that off.
can I have a motion to accept the meeting minutes from February 10th?
Okay. You want
Go
to,
for it.
okay. I move to accept the minutes from February 10th, 2026 with the changes of the date at the top.
I'll
Okay.
second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained.
I'm abstaining.
Okay, now motion to accept the minutes from January 27th.
And that's why, I couldn't remember why we stayed.
I know.
We had to hold off on these because we didn't have a quorum last time because Savannah left.
The first time.
Oh, because I left. It was an emergency.
I know, but I was like, why did we wait to do these
Okay.
last time?
I'll make the motion to accept January 27th minutes.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, for select board stuff, I just want to say goodbye to Miss Nicole.
Well, she's written it.
I know, unless she's written in, you know, but thank you. Thank you for your serving your time for the town of Hyde Park. Much appreciated. We'll keep you around for some stuff though, so don't worry.
Not going anywhere. Just won't be here.
And I don't, we do have our special select board meeting on March 5th for reorg after, town meeting. I will be remote, in Florida for that one, but, 5:30.
And is Matt remote as well?
He's not at all.
He's gonna be in Vegas at a trade show,
Okay.
but he might be able to call in, did he say?
He said I don't think he said, no, I think he said not.
I
He
can't
could
remember.
if we needed him, or it was very like,
Sure.
probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay.
We should
I mean, I'll be
have
able to
though, 'cause
attend.
of Savannah and I, and the new.
The newbies. Well,
Or
Savannah just has someone running against her.
Yeah. Might not be Savannah. This could be my last two.
True. Okay, I don't think I have anything else.
Do we, or we don't?
Oh, yes, we do. We need to, can I have a motion to, we need to acknowledge that we
Need
need,
for executive session.
correct, for personnel.
No, we have to acknowledge and then you do the thing.
Okay, do that.
I acknowledge the need for executive session.
Okay,
Now, we,
And we'll get a
We
second
are-
on that.
wait,
I will second that.
okay.
Excellent.
Who are we including?
all of
Nothing.
us.
Now we gotta go into.
I know, but I want to know who we're
Us.
including before we do it. Okay.
Select board now.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I move that we go into executive
Night, Kim.
session bye Kim, per 1 VSA 313 to include at the select board and Alex.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. 7:03.
So
This
we
is
need to
smaller.
be there at 9 o'clock?